Have you ever wondered if there's a way to truly enhance your partner's pleasure, deepen your connection, and take your intimacy to a whole new level? In today's video, we're exploring the art of clitoral stimulation, why it's so powerful and often misunderstood, and how subtle changes in approach can transform your entire experience. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell to avoid missing any videos. Your support means a lot to me. And if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. The clitoris stands as one of the most remarkable, intricate parts of a woman's body, crafted with an unmatched sensitivity that can unlock levels of pleasure beyond words. With over 8,000 nerve endings concentrated in a small area, this extraordinary part of the anatomy possesses more sensory power than any other part of the human body, even more than the glands of the penis. Just think about that for a moment. Nature has designed this delicate cluster of nerve endings to offer a unique pathway to pleasure, an invitation to connection, and yet it is also one of the most misunderstood parts of the female body. What many don't realize is that the clitoris extends far beyond the visible tip. Its structure wraps around the vaginal entrance, forming an intricate web of nerve-rich tissue that enhances sensitivity and expands the realm of pleasurable possibilities. In other words, it's not just the visible portion that matters, but the entire internal network that plays a vital role in stimulation. This is where so many men, often with the best intentions, tend to falter. They concentrate solely on that small, visible part of the clitoris, applying direct pressure or using friction without realizing that it may feel uncomfortable or even painful for some women. It's an easy misunderstanding, especially when pleasure is the goal. However, the key to clitoral pleasure lies in understanding that it's not simply about touch. It's about how, when, and where to touch. Mastering these three elements, timing, pressure, and location, can transform the experience from ordinary to profoundly pleasurable. Imagine approaching the clitoris with the same reverence you might bring to a delicate work of art. The first, most essential advice is to start gently and with full attention to your partner's subtle reactions. This isn't an area that responds to rushed, automatic actions. It calls for a kind of care and patience that can seem unfamiliar at first, but will reward you both in ways worth every second of attentive exploration. Remember, what may feel incredible at one moment may not be as pleasurable at another, and every woman's body is uniquely responsive. Just as some prefer soft, feather-light touches, others may enjoy a firmer, yet still gentle approach. It's all about being attuned to her responses, every sigh, every shift, every smile, and adapting to what brings her comfort and joy. One of the golden principles of clitoral stimulation, then, is gentleness. Because of its extreme sensitivity, excessive pressure or overly eager movements can quickly overwhelm the senses and create more discomfort than pleasure. So take your time. Start with light, soft caresses, perhaps using the pads of your fingertips, the palm of your hand, or the warm, soft brush of your tongue. It's about exploring, discovering, and continually checking in with her level of enjoyment, adjusting your approach as needed. Remember, the goal isn't just to achieve an end. It's to cultivate a shared moment of intimacy, a journey that values her experience every step of the way. Patience truly becomes your greatest ally here. This isn't a race. It's a delicate dance where rushing steals away the beauty of connection. The clitoris responds best when given time and attention, allowing for a gradual build-up that honors her pleasure as something sacred, not hurried. As you explore, try to establish a rhythm that feels natural and unhurried. Begin slowly, perhaps even just brushing over her with a whisper of a touch. And as you sense her responding, you can gradually increase the intensity if that feels right for her. Often, a steady rhythm aligned with her body's responses can create an experience that's not only pleasurable, but deeply connecting, building trust and comfort in ways that hurried actions simply can't match. One of the most common misconceptions is that faster is better and that a hurried tempo will bring more satisfaction. In reality, though, what makes the experience truly fulfilling is the steadiness, the consistency, and the rhythm that resonates with her body's natural pace. Think of it as moving together in harmony, letting her body guide you rather than the other way around. This is her experience, and you're there to support it, to enrich it, to make it something unforgettable. To build this connection, communicate openly and without hesitation. Ask her what she enjoys, listen to her desires, and make her feel safe to share her likes and dislikes. Clitoral pleasure, like any intimate experience, flourishes when both partners feel heard, valued, and deeply connected. And as you find that balance together, you'll discover that every touch becomes more meaningful, every moment a step toward deeper intimacy. Remember that in giving her the time, patience, and gentle care she deserves, you're not only creating pleasure, but a profound bond of trust, respect, and love. Through this attentiveness, you're telling her that her comfort and joy matter to you more than anything. You're showing her that pleasure is not just an act, but an expression of care, a language of love that goes beyond words. And in those moments, you're likely to find that the pleasure she feels mirrors the joy, connection, and warmth you both share. Another crucial, yet often overlooked factor in achieving truly satisfying clitoral stimulation is lubrication. This detail, though seemingly minor, can make an immense difference in comfort, pleasure, and the overall experience. When the area is well lubricated, whether by the body's natural moisture or with the help of an artificial lubricant, the sensation of touch becomes smoother, gentler, and significantly more enjoyable. Friction without adequate lubrication can easily lead to discomfort, and in some cases, even pain, which can disrupt the experience and hinder relaxation. If you notice that your partner isn't producing enough natural lubrication, don't hesitate to bring in a quality water-based lubricant. Not only is this type of lubricant gentle and safe for the skin, but it's also ideal for oral or manual stimulation, as it maintains moisture without causing any sticky residue. A properly lubricated environment opens the door to more creative and exploratory forms of touch, allowing you both to enjoy a range of caresses without the fear of uncomfortable friction. This freedom to experiment can be incredibly liberating, as it encourages you to explore different pressures, patterns, and techniques that may lead to deeper pleasure. This aspect is particularly important if you're incorporating sexual toys into the experience, as many materials used in toys can cause too much friction without adequate lubrication. Using a water-based or compatible lubricant ensures that each touch, each movement, feels smooth and welcoming. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. The clitoris is not only sensitive but versatile, offering endless possibilities for pleasurable exploration. There's no one-size-fits-all approach here. Every woman is unique in her preferences and sensitivities. This is why trying different techniques with an open mind and patient heart is key to discovering what truly brings her pleasure. One effective technique to consider is gentle circular movements around the clitoris, which can create a soft and building sensation. Begin with light pressure, allowing her to guide the pace. And if she seems to enjoy it, you can gradually increase the intensity. Circular motions allow for a steady buildup of sensation that can become intensely pleasurable, especially as her arousal deepens. Another technique that many find effective is to simulate gentle pulsations on the clitoris, using either your fingers or your tongue. This rhythm, somewhat like a heartbeat, can create waves of pleasure that enhance her excitement and anticipation. By offering intermittent touches rather than continuous pressure, you create a sensation that is both teasing and deeply satisfying. This pattern of gentle pulses followed by moments of pause can heighten the experience, making each touch feel more intense and drawing her deeper into the moment. However, it's important to keep in mind that for some women, direct stimulation to the clitoris, especially at the outset, can feel too intense. This sensitivity varies from person to person, and sometimes even from moment to moment, depending on her arousal level and comfort. If she seems particularly sensitive or if direct contact doesn't feel pleasurable, consider starting with indirect stimulation. Instead of focusing on the clitoris itself, you might explore the area around it, including the vaginal lips and the pubic region, where many women find gentle touch both arousing and relaxing. Working up to more direct clitoral stimulation can build trust and anticipation, allowing her body to feel fully prepared for the more intense sensations. Ultimately, the journey towards satisfying clitoral stimulation values communication, gentleness, and an open willingness to explore what brings joy to your partner. Every touch, every change in rhythm, and every moment of shared connection brings you closer to understanding her unique needs and desires. In these moments, you're not just physically connecting, you're building a foundation of trust, respect, and genuine intimacy. The pleasure that comes from this is not only physical, but deeply emotional, fostering a bond that goes beyond the immediate experience and strengthens your relationship in profound ways. Don't feel constrained to just one rhythm or technique. Exploration is part of the thrill. Sometimes, simply changing the rhythm, adjusting the pressure, or experimenting with different angles can make the experience feel new and invigorating. This element of surprise can be incredibly exciting, bringing a fresh intensity that many couples find deeply pleasurable. By varying your approach, you introduce a sense of discovery that can break routines and open doors to heightened experiences. An added layer of excitement can come from combining clitoral stimulation with gentle caresses on other erogenous zones. Imagine stimulating the clitoris while softly caressing her breasts, trailing warm kisses along her neck, or even tracing gentle circles on her abdomen. The female body is a beautifully interconnected system of erogenous zones, each one capable of contributing to the crescendo of pleasure. By exploring multiple areas in harmony, you create a symphony of sensations that elevates the experience to a whole new level. In my practice, I've seen that one of the most common challenges couples face in their intimate lives isn't technique or lack of desire. It's a lack of open communication. When partners don't fully express what they like, want, or feel during intimacy, it can create a subtle disconnect that dampens the experience for both. This silence can feel like a barrier that prevents true connection, and over time, it may even affect the bond between you. One of the most valuable pieces of advice I can offer is to foster an open, gentle dialogue about what brings each of you pleasure. This doesn't have to be a formal or intimidating conversation. It can be as simple as asking, "Does that feel good?" Or, "Would you like me to try something different?" Creating a space where both of you feel comfortable sharing your desires and preferences not only enhances your intimacy, but can transform your connection. When you genuinely seek to understand what brings your partner pleasure, you're not just improving your technique. You're telling them that their satisfaction matters deeply to you. For many women, knowing that their partner is truly invested in their pleasure, unafraid to ask questions or welcome feedback, is immensely fulfilling. It shows a level of care and respect that makes intimacy feel more profound. At the heart of it, sex is a shared journey. It's not about achieving perfection or following a checklist of techniques. It's about discovering what you both enjoy and celebrating that together. When both partners work with each other to create an environment of mutual pleasure, the results are not only physically satisfying, but deeply emotional as well. This effort to connect and understand brings you closer, building a foundation of trust and respect that enhances your bond beyond the bedroom. In the end, it's this unity, this shared commitment to bringing each other joy that turns physical intimacy into something truly meaningful. It's essential to shift our perspective and recognize that the ultimate goal of sex doesn't have to be solely about achieving orgasm. While reaching climax is a wonderful aspect of intimacy, there's so much more to savor and appreciate along the way. The journey, the tender moments, the lingering touches, the shared intimacy is just as significant, if not more so, than the final destination. Many men feel pressure, sometimes internalized from cultural expectations or personal beliefs, to perform by bringing their partner to orgasm quickly. This can unintentionally create a sense of anxiety, diminishing the beauty of the experience and potentially leaving both partners feeling unfulfilled. Patience is your ally here. There's no need to rush or focus on achieving a particular outcome. Instead, allow yourself to be fully present in each moment. The gentle caresses, the soft kisses, the shared breaths, and let the climax come naturally without forcing it. When you embrace the experience in its entirety, every touch and every glance, the satisfaction and connection you build with your partner can reach levels that surpass the physical. This brings to mind a memorable case from my practice a few years ago that illustrates this idea beautifully. Javier, a 35-year-old man, came to me feeling frustrated and confused. By his own account, he felt he was doing everything right in bed, following every piece of advice he had come across. Yet his partner didn't seem to be as satisfied as he had hoped. He was convinced the issue must be technical, something to do with technique or skill, and he couldn't understand why. Despite his efforts, his intimate life wasn't as fulfilling as he desired. After a few sessions together, we gradually uncovered the true root of the problem, which had little to do with physical technique and everything to do with communication and emotional connection. Javier admitted that he often became preoccupied with reaching the goal of his partner's orgasm, pushing himself to meet this expectation as quickly as possible. However, this intense focus on the result brought anxiety and inadvertently placed pressure on his partner to climax, creating a dynamic that was more about achieving than enjoying. This focus on the outcome transformed the experience from a shared, intimate journey into a task to be completed, missing out on the richness and joy that the process could have brought them both. Through our work together, Javier began to understand that intimacy is as much about the emotional connection and shared vulnerability as it is about physical sensations. He learned to release the need to perform or achieve and instead appreciate each moment with his partner, letting each stage of the experience unfold naturally. As he started to communicate more openly, asking his partner what felt good and listening to her needs, their bond grew deeper. By shifting his focus away from simply reaching an orgasm and toward genuinely enjoying the entire process, Javier found that the experience became infinitely more satisfying for them both. They began to connect on a level he had never anticipated, finding joy in every shared laugh, every gentle touch, and every affectionate gaze. Javier's journey is a powerful reminder that the richness of intimacy comes from being fully present with your partner, savoring the process without hurrying toward a particular end. When you embrace the experience as a whole, the connection deepens, creating a fulfilling, joyful, and lasting intimacy. This approach reminds us all that orgasm is just one part of the larger experience, and the more we immerse ourselves in the moment, the more meaningful and satisfying that experience becomes for both partners. Javier's partner, rather than finding joy and comfort in the experience, began feeling a sense of pressure that created an invisible barrier between them. This pressure turned intimacy into something she felt obligated to achieve rather than enjoy, disrupting the natural flow of connection and building an emotional wall that prevented true mutual pleasure. What had the potential to be a beautiful shared experience was marred by anxiety, which left both of them feeling distanced. This unintended consequence, though subtle at first, affected her ability to relax and truly immerse herself in the moment, making each encounter feel less like a journey and more like a performance. Through our sessions, I encourage Javier to see intimacy from a different perspective, emphasizing the profound importance of patience, honest communication, and adding variety to his approach to touch and stimulation. Over time, with heartfelt conversations and conscious effort, Javier began to release the need to reach a particular outcome. He let go of the urgency and focused instead on simply being present, listening to his partner, and responding to her cues without a specific goal in mind. The transformation was remarkable. Gradually, he noticed a deep shift in their intimate life, one that was no longer solely about physical satisfaction, but about emotional closeness and rediscovery. "We are rediscovering each other," he confided in one of our final sessions, his voice filled with genuine excitement and relief. What they were experiencing wasn't merely an improvement in technique or skill. It was the rekindling of a connection that had become lost in the routines and expectations that intimacy can sometimes carry. They began to savor each other's presence, re-exploring the touch, comfort, and affection that initially drew them together, creating a shared intimacy that felt as new as it was profound. Javier's journey highlights a powerful realization. That true fulfillment in intimacy isn't about executing specific techniques perfectly or following a rigid path. Rather, it lies in understanding that satisfaction comes from a deeper place, one tied to emotional connection, attentiveness, and genuine presence. This revelation allowed him to approach intimacy with a newfound openness, appreciating each moment without the pressure of trying to achieve a particular outcome. For Javier, the experience became less about physical goals and more about honoring the bond between him and his partner, allowing them to share pleasure in a way that felt natural, joyful, and mutually satisfying. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Proper clitoral stimulation, like any form of intimate connection, is not simply about applying the right technique. The journey to satisfying and fulfilling intimacy is about learning to read your partner's body, responding to her signals, and engaging in a dynamic, ever-evolving process of exploration together. Each woman is uniquely different. What brings pleasure to one person might not resonate with another, and understanding this is key to building a fulfilling relationship. In this sense, empathy becomes an invaluable part of the experience. When you approach each intimate moment with curiosity, open communication, and a willingness to adjust and learn, you create a space where both partners feel truly seen and appreciated. In our conversations, Javier and I discussed how empathy and attentiveness could transform his approach. We talked about seeing each moment as a fresh opportunity to connect with his partner in new ways, always staying receptive to her responses and feedback. He came to understand that intimacy isn't about rigidly applying a one-size-fits-all method, but about actively listening to his partner's needs. By doing so, he was able to cultivate a connection where she felt safe to communicate her likes, dislikes, and desires openly. This shift in perspective brought a new richness to their intimacy, allowing them to enjoy each other without the burden of expectation or pressure. It became clear that when partners feel free to express themselves and be understood, intimacy transforms into something far more fulfilling than merely a physical exchange. One of the most profound insights from Javier's story is the importance of seeing intimacy as a journey rather than a destination. It's about allowing each moment to unfold naturally, taking joy in the small acts of affection, the shared laughter, and the unspoken understanding that builds over time. When both partners are present at the moment, free from expectations or rigid goals, they create an environment that nurtures genuine pleasure and connection. This doesn't just enhance physical satisfaction, it strengthens the emotional foundation of the relationship. It reminds us that sex is not only a physical act, but a shared experience, a dance between two people who care deeply for each other, striving to bring joy and comfort to one another. For Javier, this transformation was life-changing. Instead of approaching intimacy as something to get right, he learned to embrace it as a fluid experience where each encounter brought discoveries. He came to value the beauty of slowing down, appreciating every touch and every moment without the pressure of reaching a particular outcome. This shift allowed him to be truly present with his partner, creating a safe and trusting space where they could both express themselves freely. They began to experiment together, not just with techniques, but with ways of connecting that felt fulfilling on both emotional and physical levels. It wasn't about perfection. It was about showing up for each other with love, respect, and genuine curiosity. In the end, Javier's journey reveals a timeless truth about intimacy, that its true richness lies not in the techniques we use, but in the presence we bring. When you learn to tune into your partner, read her body, and respond with empathy, you're no longer merely engaging in a physical act. You're building a bond that goes deeper, one that fosters trust, comfort, and profound mutual satisfaction. The most fulfilling intimate experiences come not from mastering a set of techniques, but from an ongoing willingness to discover each other over and over, always with a spirit of compassion and curiosity. This kind of intimacy is timeless, growing richer with each shared moment and deepening the connection in ways that transcend the physical. It's about embracing each other fully, letting go of expectations, and creating a safe space where both partners can be vulnerable, open, and deeply, authentically themselves. Thank you for joining us on this journey to understanding the true essence of intimacy. We've explored the power of patience, communication, and connection, the keys to creating fulfilling, meaningful experiences that go far beyond any single technique. Now, we want to hear from you. What have you learned from this discussion? Is there one insight you'll take with you to practice in your relationships? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your feedback helps us continue bringing insightful content your way. Thank you for watching, and here's to building deeper, more connected relationships